Hi YouTube, TV Genie here, about to review Game of Thrones Season 3 Episode 5, Kissed by Fire. First of all I have to say, after Khaleesi's Ultimate Showdown last week, I came into this week's episode with high expectations. Mostly hoping to see more of Khaleesi this week and also the Wildlings. You know, not necessarily Jon Snow and Ygritte, but the Wildlings themselves. The Hound's battle scene with the dude from the Brotherhood of No Banners, I don't remember his name, was a bit of a letdown to me personally. But at least he didn't die, because I've come to like this character. When I say he didn't die, I mean the Hound didn't die. I mean, I didn't want the guy from the Brotherhood to die either, but you know, he didn't either. None of them died, but yeah, I didn't want the Hound to die. Pity Arya doesn't understand how their world works. To me, she's kind of like Ned in that regard, but maybe it's because she's still really young why she seems like that for now. I guess when she grows up more, she'll understand that the world is a bit different. In terms of the Hound, because he had to do what Joffrey told him, and that's why he killed her friend. We see Jon Snow is still trying to prove his allegiance to the Wildlings. I must admit I didn't expect Jon and Ygritte's relationship to progress so far so quickly, but I guess they had to fast forward since we only have 10 episodes a season. I felt sorry for Jaime when Lord Bolton made him think something happened to Cersei. I mean, he already had his hand cut off and lost his dignity. He never needed to salt his wounds any further. But with that said, Jaime's relief when he found out Cersei was alive, and you know, it was somewhat amusing. I mean, you feel sorry for him, but it was just amusing the way how he fell to his feet when he found out that nothing happened to her. You know, I'm pretty sure Brienne is feeling the epitome of pity for him right about now. Too bad she's alone in her feelings. You know, I guess if Cersei was around and knowing what was going on with Jaime, then she would pity him too. I won't even talk about Tywin because I don't even know how Tywin really feels about his own children. When the dude was peeling away the rotten flesh from Jaime's arm, I almost couldn't bear to watch it. But at least we see some of his male ego is still intact when he opted out of milk of Poppy. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure why Cersei believes she can trust Baelish. Part of me is wondering if she's plotting against him, but I think right now he is of no importance to her. Hold that thought. Okay, back to the review. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I think, you know, it's highly likely he may double cross her. That's Baelish. With any information that he does give her about the Tyrells, that's if it becomes necessary for him to hide information from her. If I did a review of last week's episode, I would have voiced my respect for Marjorie's grandmother. I don't remember her name either. I probably should have prepped myself more with the names of these people, but you know, I just forgot. I think she's hardcore. The meeting between herself and Tyrion was a recipe for laughter to be had, in my opinion. Just the way they both handled themselves, and just to see the two of them in the same room together was really entertaining. Really entertaining. As we see now, Tyrion is sinking into Baelish's role as Master of Coin. I always figured Robb wasn't up to the task of being a leader. He has good battle strategies, but that's about it. This episode and others prove my point. He couldn't make his own decisions. He had to, let his mother, wife, and uncle advise him on what to do. None of which are necessarily the best advisors if you think about it. I mean, his mother impulsively freed Jaime Lannister. His uncle impulsively went into battle disobeying his orders. And his wife was like a neutral medic who doesn't even condone war, much as to give advice on strategic movements in a battle. Even if their advice works out, my thought was that, which would be highly likely it would work, in my opinion, he should have thought of it himself. Then, instead of even, taking on that advice, that actually made sense, even though he should have came up with it by himself. He chose to lose men over his ego. I was excited to see more about Stannis' wife in this episode. She embodies her description really well. The babies in jars was a nice touch, and seeing his daughter also. I also, of course, loved just seeing Stannis in general because I think he's a looker. I always thought he was a looker. I'm not sure whether Jaime likes Brienne or if Brienne likes Jaime or if they both like each other. But it seems that the writers are subtly hinting at an attraction between them. For a while now, I could tell Jaime was planning to, I could tell that from he walked into the door and she was in the bath that he was just going to go in the same bath. I just could tell, knowing how Jaime is. It was kind of hilarious when he did that still. I mean, her reaction to it. I love that they finally let Jaime divulge what occurred with the Mad King, fully, and that he did it to Brienne. I'm so anxious to see Khaleesi's Unsullied in battle. I'm definitely losing patience in that storyline right now. I had patience in the beginning, but right now I just feel like it's dragging on, like how I felt when they were in the desert and just waiting for her to reach the cart, and then it just feels like everything is just dragging on with Khaleesi's storyline, but I guess they have to do it in that way. Seeing that I haven't read the books, I'm not sure when she's supposed to actually go into battle and these things, so I'm not sure. So I guess maybe it's supposed to take this long, but who knows. I'm just losing my patience right now. And as Melina Pendulum said, people who read the books would not necessarily be as impatient as somebody who just watches the TV show and just wondering why, certain things are just dragging along and we can't see certain things happen yet. But we'll see. I'll wait around. I love the show, so I'll wait around. When Rob came up with the idea to take Casterly Rock, I was pleased because, thus far in the episode, he was looking really weak-minded. Not even just in the episode, but, before he wasn't seemingly weak because, it was just battle, and he's good at, battle itself, but not necessarily like, the politics outside the battle. In my opinion, at least. I know that I'll get some shots fired at me by people who rep Rob and all of that, but that's just my opinion. I was thinking, will he succeed with his plan? I have no idea if he's going to, but I'm interested now to see how that plays out, because before I was really interested in what Rob wants to do with himself. Yeah. I know that most people hate Sansa by default, but I have not really hated Sansa. I think I was annoyed at her at one point, but then I realized that the decisions that she made, she had to make it for her own self-preservation. I mostly pity Sansa than anything else, you know. I'm glad though that she's catching a break for now. I'm hoping that Marjorie is sincere, but you know, we have no way of knowing, you know, since Marjorie is a master manipulator, as we've seen. Plus, her brother, Larys, is a homosexual, as we know, so I don't know how that possible marriage would play out for Sansa if it occurs, because as we saw, the guy lay with Larys, you know, the guy that laid out with Larys was planted by Baelish. You know, I figured Baelish was planning something, but I didn't consider that it would play out like that. But you know, it works out. This just makes me even more interested in seeing what he's going to do with Cersei. Now, I'm wondering if Baelish is the one who told Cersei about the Tyrell's intentions for Sansa. Logically, it would make sense that he did, because freeing her up from Larys would give him the opportunity to marry her like he wants, but I think that's the only way he'd aid Cersei if it benefits him. And that would, you know, benefit him if he didn't know about, you know, that's given he doesn't know about Tywin's plans. I was pretty much shocked though when Tywin implied that Tyrion should wed Sansa. Probably just as shocked as Tyrion was to hear that. In fact, the man didn't even say it. He basically implied it for, you know, everybody else to just pick up on that. I was shocked as Tyrion was. No wonder. I was like, no wonder, because as Tyrion walked into the room, we saw that Cersei had a big smile plastered on her face, and I was wondering why she's so happy. So realized now that's why she was so happy, because that would, you know, Tyrion would have to marry Sansa. That development made me doubt that Baelish had an involvement in Cersei finding out. The only way is if she tricked him, that, you know, somehow, meaning that, you know, he wasn't aware that Tywin's plan was for Tyrion to wed Sansa. Tyrion would be a great husband to Sansa, though. I mean, I know that he wouldn't want that, and she probably wouldn't want that, but he would be a good husband to her. I'm pretty sure of that. Cersei's smile, though, was clearly short-lived when Tywin told her that what she had to do. I kind of feel sorry for her, because basically her worst nightmare was that she was married off, you know, to Baratheon, and then now he's going to marry her off again. So I kind of feel sorry for her, because basically she's the way she is because of the way how Tywin treats his children. I'm pretty sure though that next week will be great. The building up has been going on long enough, so I'm pretty sure by now, you know, they'll tie up certain things. I mean, we're at episode 5 now, so episode 6. And then we just have like about 4 episodes left after that. So I'm really excited to see what happens next week. This episode was a good episode. Yes. So if you guys liked my review, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and share with your friends that watch Game of Thrones, of course. I'll be adding my Twitter handle in the annotations, so please follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back and talk to you about the show. If you want to talk to me about the show, I also discuss the show in my group on Facebook, Game of Thrones Jamaica. I'll be linking it down in the description box below, and also the written version of this review will be on Tumblr. I'll also link that below. Thank you for watching, and until my next review. Bye.